Medicine, law, business, and engineering. These are noble pursuits and they're necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, and love, these are what we stay alive for. How can you and I stand here in this building here today, being happy and healthy without the power of science, technology, engineering, and math, or it's also known as STEM? Now, I want to do a little survey. Who here studies a STEM subject? Can you raise your hands? Yeah, I see a lot of hands. But who here likes to do artsy stuff in your free time? A lot of the same hands. I can see that a lot of us raised our hands for both questions, and we adhere our principles to the Dead Poets Society quote I mentioned above. When I first heard these words from Professor Keating, I realized how often society would pit these ideas against each other: science versus art, the passionate versus the practical. And growing up, I always felt this anxiety to choose, to follow my love for theater or to focus on what I'm good at school, the natural science. There was always this concept of left and right brain being instilled in me, and I saw them as completely separate entities. And the people around me, they also further perpetuated this notion. I study science, biology, and chemistry, but I also do acting and directing outside of school. And the people who work with me in theater productions are always very, very surprised when they find out that I also am a STEM girl. Like, is that a compliment to me for not looking like a nerd? Or a jerk, or a joke laughing at me for not looking smart enough? I am used to this type of stereotyping, and honestly, I am used to categorizing people into these stereotypes too. But that is why I feel compelled to stand here today and talk about the topic, putting the A in STEM, to show everyone that it is not to choose one or the other and put these disciplines against each other, but it is the combination of these two to foster innovation and address global challenges. So now, let's take a little look into our history. Our ancestors, geniuses in history, they never really separated the two. There's a high chance that a physicist you idolized growing up was also a serious musician. For example, Max Planck and Einstein, after they composed a new mathematical circuit in their labs, they came home and probably composed their circuit at home too. But why is that? It's because music theory, it revolves heavily around math. The circle of fifths, the mathematical laws of harmonics and rhythms, the metronome you use to play with your piano. Every music you listen to is built on repeating patterns and structures, which is possibly why these logical minds, they enjoyed composing so much. But what is the psychology behind it? Fine artists and research scientists, they both ask, if I try this, then what will happen? The thinking is not really all that different. You really have to mess it up to be able to find out the solution and create something new. Both fields, they rely on failure as a tool for growth. For example, science, penicillin was created after a failed science experiment revolving around mold contamination. And actors, they would get dozens of no's before they finally get a yes. Trust me, I would know. These fields and the scientists, the artists, they express humanity, but scientists, they uncover the secrets of the universe. But I think both of them at their core are just creators. They're seeking to reveal truths, whether it's emotional or empirical. Their work isn't about just finding out the answer, but it is asking more and better and interesting questions. And breaking down this invisible line has to start from your thinking. And I think a large reason why this line is so emphasized and it is so hard to break down this line is because there is a certain superiority regarding STEM subjects. You're not considered smart enough, and it's not as superior if you're not studying STEM, and studying art and humanities makes you dumber, and it's less appraised. But now, let's join me for a trip to the time machine. Back in the days, the Romans, the Greeks, this was the golden age of philosophy and literature. Thinkers like Plato and Socrates, they paved the way for Western philosophy, while writers like Homer, they shaped cultural narratives for centuries. Back then, it was the literature, the art, and philosophy that shaped human understanding and education. But then, over time, industrialization and technological breakthroughs, they shifted society towards wanting more pragmatic outcomes and tangible products like medicine and engineering. This led to the creatives, the art, and philosophy getting put into the back burner, and they are undervalued. And they went from being a very big dream that most noble profession, it became a very noble profession that is reserved for the upper class, until now it is the frivolous nightmare that most Asian parents would fear, right? But why don't we take a pause to consider our own upbringing? The pictures in your biology textbooks were drawn by artists, and pragmatic philosophy gives meaning to the triangles you learned in math. Have you ever wondered, when the heck will I use this in real life when you're studying something? Let's take a look. We study that in a triangle, the length of one side is less than the sum of the other two sides. Of course, this is something, okay, you memorize, and then you learn in math. But when you look at a triangular-shaped path like this, it makes much more sense to walk along the hypotenuse instead of just wasting your time walking along the adjacent and opposite side. This is the art of storytelling. This is theater and philosophy right inside of your classroom. And you would not understand half the scientific knowledge in your course books if it weren't for the illustrators who sketched it all out for you, or the teachers who employed the art of storytelling when they were teaching you. For example, Mr. Smith bought 30 apples. I know it would not understand math if it weren't for that. Art is a great tool that helps spark discussions about science and its ethics, and it brings this daunting subject closer to the everyday people. And I think it made it clear that science and art aren't opposites. They're collaborators in shaping a world that doesn't just function, but inspires. And that's why I'm here to show you that putting the A in STEM isn't optional. It's essential for creating a world where curiosity and creativity thrive. It's no longer time to pit these two ideas against each other and have you choose between what you're passionate about and what makes you money. We're living in the 21st century, the golden age of technology and innovation, and there are countless very exciting opportunities for you in this emerging and converging field. Let's take a look at a few of them. The first one is bioart. Bioart is an art practice where humans would work with live tissues, bacteria, and living organisms to create artwork that explores scientific themes. This can range from orga art to genetically modified animals. Now, these unconventional art pieces are doing an incredible job at showing us advancements in biology and chemistry. It is showing the public a look into the world of biotechnology, a world where it was furiously deemed very sterile and very harsh. And it is the most important thing about bioart like this is that it sparks conversation on the ethics of GMOs, of science, and it will promote scientific literacy in people and curiosity. It can inspire new ideas in science in the future. Now, the next example I want to show you is this. I'm sure you all have seen this picture of Bella Hadid. This is the iconic spray-on dress that was shown at Fashion Week. And this is one of the most exciting products of the interdisciplinary research linking material science, engineering, and fashion. So this is Fabrican. Fabrican is a material that is in a liquid suspension inside a can. But when it is sprayed on a surface, crosslinks will form, and you get an instant non-woven fabric. This versatile and sprayable fabric is breaking down technological and economic barriers to fashion by firstly allowing designers to have full reign over their pieces and create unique and innovative clothing items, while also help the consumers like you and I to customize our own wardrobe and create products that are truly impactful and that we need. This will help lower down the amount of waste the fashion industry had infamously put on landfills, and this exciting product is happening right at the intersection of science and art. Now, the final point I want to make for you listeners is music. We all listen to music, right? You probably listen to something on your way here, and you're gonna listen to something on your way back. But have you ever thought about how music is the perfect example of the science and art convergence in your day-to-day life? Artists, they write, compose, and produce their music on platforms like this, but it is the computer scientists who built these platforms for artists to display their art. Behind every song suggestion you see is a data scientist connecting users with the art that they love. So now, computer scientists are having a fun time coding for your Spotify Wrapped, and starving artists, they get a platform to display their art. We're not going to talk about their monetization, though, because that's the story for another time. Let's wrap this up. No matter what anybody tells you, your words and ideas can change the world. Now, I would pay good money so I could go on a time machine and go back to my 12-year-old self and tell her that she doesn't have to feel inadequate or like she's missing out on her creative side for choosing science over art. We need to break down this mindset that is segregating our world and have to embrace a new and more vibrant perspective, because isn't that what the world is? It is a net of network, and we're always interchanging and connecting intellectually. So now, as Professor Keating would say, carpe diem, guys, seize the day. Thank you.